What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard Podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. Matt will be joining us shortly. He's getting home from work any minute now. We are here tonight to preview the 49ers wildcard matchup versus the Philadelphia Eagles tomorrow afternoon in Philadelphia. And talk some football. Some crazy games just were played. We had the Rams at the Panthers and the Packers at the Bears. Both of them came down right into the last minute. So a couple of great games to kick off. It's not super wild card weekend anymore for some reason. It's just back to wild card weekend, but great games to start. Before I toss it over to Mike, if you guys are watching on X, do us a solid, hit like and repost on the post. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid, hit like, hit subscribe, hop in the chat. We want to hear your guys' thoughts. And also, make sure you subscribe to both 49ers Hive and Nothing But Niners. Show some love, guys. We really do appreciate it as we prepare for this postseason run. Mike, how you doing tonight?
I'm well, man. I was very entertained by football. It's the first Saturday in a long time. I didn't even look for boxing. That's just how locked in I was with the playoffs, man. Like you said, two really good games come down to the wire. It was absolutely incredible. Just wondering, like, what would have happened if? I don't know if you want to discuss any of those games or not. They do directly affect the 49ers. And so I'm here to talk about it. But you know, it was just really it was really good. I mean, even if you want to talk about the college football games, I mean, it's just a lot. This was a good 3 days of football. You know, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Some good games on. I couldn't believe it, but the stage is set, man. We have to go out there and yeah, that's the message right there, man. I couldn't believe how that last game ended. So let's go ahead and discuss if you want.
Yeah, it was wild. Obviously, the two teams the 49ers were rooting for were the Panthers and the Packers. Unfortunately, both of them lost, but boy, did they gave us a good showing. The Panthers actually hung in both for blow with the Rams earlier, and it came down to a was it Ferguson? I want to say, or no, Parkinson, Colby Parkinson touchdown with like a minute and a half left or a minute or so left to put the Rams up, and unfortunately, the Panthers just ran out of weapons. So the Panthers end up losing 34-31 to the Rams, and then the evening game kicks off. And you guys all saw it. It was 21-3, just like that. I mean, the Packers were just whooping the Bears. They had no answer for anything they were doing. They go to half, they come back out, and it was like they switched jerseys. Like, I really was astonished by what I saw. I mean, the line of scrimmage dominance just completely flipped. The Jordan Love had all day back there to drop back and pass in the first half, and then come the second half, it was like the exact opposite. So I don't know, it was wild. And you saw again a touchdown with under 2 minutes to go, putting the Bears up by 4, which coincidentally is the exact number of points that the kicker missed for the Packers. They missed an extra point, and then about a couple minutes before that last drive, they missed a field goal. So there would have been a tie game with the Packers' ability to win it with a field goal going into overtime, or instead of going to overtime, but instead they were down 4 and needed a touchdown.
Well, maybe, right? Because that missed field goal put the Bears in really good position. They might not have even scored then. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, who knows? I mean, the NFL to come up with not to come up with this slate of games, but the NFL really is the thinnest margin of error. Will result in a win or loss, right? You know, and reflecting on the Packers game, like you said, those mistakes there, that center going down, them not having any more timeouts, it cost him 10 seconds. If he doesn't go down, is that last snap bobbled the way that it is, right? And then they also have more time, even if it's incomplete, right? So it wasn't even like it was fourth down. It was just the last play of the game. I mean, everything coming down to the last second. And then you reflect on that Panthers game, right? And they had those early turnovers and overcame all of that and then started going toe-to-toe with the Rams. I mean, man, oh, man, it just really, really good games. And while I sit here and say that the Rams were significantly better than the Panthers, I think that them hanging in there should give the faithful some hope about this upcoming game tomorrow or later today, technically, if you're on the East Coast. So, you know, like that's where I am right now. I went into the playoffs, you know, and I told you guys straight up, I'm picking the Eagles. I don't think the Niners are going to win this one. But I'm looking at these games, man, and I got a lot more hope than I did. I'm telling you, I got a lot more hope than I did just yesterday. And yesterday I was surrounded by Eagles fans at the bowling alley, and they're all talking trash. And, of course, I'm in my Niners gear, right? Like, I'm going to wear my colors, And they were talking all this trash, and I started getting in my bag then. I'm like, yo, like, we got a shot to win. Like, don't sleep on it, bro. Like, we got a shot to win. Y'all are sitting here talking like y'all can go out there and just score with the best of them. 17 points isn't going to beat the Niners. Like, you can forget that. So, like y'all have a good defense, but y'all don't have that defense that we just played. So don't let that 3-point game fool you.
Right.
So it's a lot to get into. I'm excited. I can't wait to break this all down, man.
Yeah. And just a couple last thoughts on that Packers game. We talked about before we went on. Even the last drive, the Packers were moving the ball, and they got across midfield, and then there was a pass, I don't know, for 15, 20 yards. They had one timeout left. There were 37 seconds left, and instead of rushing up to the line to spike the ball, they called their last timeout. I'm like, you just totally handicapped your own offense. And then on top of that, like you said, the center gets hurt. They don't have any more timeouts. If they had that in their pocket, they wouldn't have been dinged a 10-second runoff. They could have just cost that last timeout. So questionable decisions throughout the whole second half. After the Packers went up 21-3, it was a 28 to what was the final score? 31-27?
They lost by 4, so I don't even remember now. It was so like
31-27. So it was a 28-6 run for the Bears after they went up 28-3.
Yep.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Credit the Bears though. They stayed in there. They made it a fight. That's kind of how they've lived this whole season. People were clowning them, including myself, for that first half performance. Ben Johnson going for it on his own 32 on 4th down, not getting it. They stuck in there, and somehow I think Matt LaFleur kind of just let them stay in the ball game with his play calling in the second half. But AA 49, LaFleur might be on that hot seat. He definitely was on it, I think, already. And with how the game went tonight, I would be shocked if he's brought back, honestly. I would be shocked. I don't know. Is that a hot take? Am I living in the moment, Mike? What do you think?
I've seen people saying it, but I just don't know, man. I mean, have they not been in the playoffs since he's been there? I think maybe just
they
one
have,
season?
But I think they've been all but one, but the most they've won is one playoff game, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Jordan Love beat the Packers or beat the Cowboys that year where they won like 40-3 or whatever that Packers game was.
Right.
And then I think he's won a playoff game with Aaron Rodgers.
I don't know. So I look at it like this, right? I was shocked by the Ravens getting rid of Harbaugh because he's a winning coach, right? So LaFleur, I mean, he's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but he lost his pass rusher, and he had to overcome some major things there, and that defensive line was not the same without Parsons. Let's be honest. And then don't forget they traded away their best defensive tackle in order to get Parsons. So I mean that defensive line took a huge hit. I just don't know that I give up on that right away. Like, do you give him a chance to get one more season, get Parsons back? Go out there and draft some defensive line. I don't know. I don't know if I just give up on that right away. I don't know. I don't know if it's a hot take though, because I've seen a lot of people saying it. So
he's 3-6 with tonight's loss in the postseason. 3-6. They've had the 1 seed at least once that I can remember. Tough loss for the Packers. That was a complete meltdown. People get on Kyle Shanahan for having a 10-point meltdown as if that's like insurmountable with good teams for some reason. It was 21-6, like in the fourth quarter.
It was 21-3 at halftime.
Yeah. And in the fourth quarter, it was 21-6.
It was 21-6, yeah.
Don't give up 25 points, and you're probably good, but we'll see. But, okay, so as far as the 49ers game that we're all here to talk about, he's getting an extension per reports. Let's see.
By the way, guys, Matt will be joining us in a few. I don't know if you said that or not, but I just want to remind everybody that Matt will be joining us again. So,
yep. Let's get into the injury report. I have this up. I always forget to open it in a new tab. That way you guys can see it better. Quite lengthy. So for the 49ers, let me start reading these out. Jair Brown, full participant, good to go. He had a rib injury. Jacob Cowing was activated off of IR. He is a full participant, but Kyle said he wasn't going to play just because of how long he was out. He was technically questionable, but today he was downgraded to out with the hamstring injury. Kalia Davis, good to go with a knee injury. Jordan Elliott, good to go, had that knee injury as well. Luke Gifford is questionable with a quad injury. Bernardo Green, questionable with an ankle injury, which pissed me off because it popped up with like 5 minutes left of the walkthrough. How do you get an ankle injury? Anyway, Yetur Gross-Matos, good to go, has that knee injury that he's had all year. George Kittle, good to go with that ankle injury. Christian McCaffrey, obviously good to go. Ricky Pearsall is reportedly a true game time decision tomorrow. He's dealing with that sprained PCL and ankle injury. Keon White, also questionable. He left last week with a groin injury, and now he has a hamstring injury. Maybe vice versa. Maybe it was the other way around. Trent Williams, questionable, but per reports today, he is going to play. He pulled that hamstring the final second to last game of the season. And D. Winters, questionable with an ankle injury. And then today, the 49ers... I got ahead of myself. Eagles injury report. Grant Calcaterra, good to go. He had an ankle injury. Defensive tackle Jalen Carter, good to go. He's been dealing with a hip injury. Nakobe Dean, good to go. He had a hamstring. Landon Dickerson, good to go. Marcus Epps, safety, had a concussion. Looks like he's good to go. Dallas Goedert, good to go with a knee injury. Lane Johnson looking to make his return for, I think, the first time since like week 8 or something like that. Week 13, I forget when he got hurt. He's questionable. Now, I'm seeing conflicting reports. He's going to go. He's not going to go. He's a true game time decision. Per Jay Glazer, he's dealing with a lot of pain, swelling, and bruising in that foot. So he's going to test it pre-game, see what it feels like, and then go from there. Azeez Ojulari was just activated off of IR. He is questionable with a hamstring injury. Jalen Phillips, good to go. He had that ankle injury last week. And Brett Toth, the guard, has a concussion. He's listed here as questionable, but he was ruled down to out today by the Eagles. And the 49ers had their standard practice squad elevations, and they elevated Jalen Graham and the linebacker and wide receiver Malik Turner. Mike, were you surprised they didn't activate Kaiser White, who they just signed, the veteran linebacker?
So he signed to the 53. Do you have to activate him?
I thought he signed to the practice squad.
Oh, was it a practice? Oh, okay. I thought he signed to the 53. Okay, so then that makes more sense then. Yes, I am surprised. And he hadn't played a lot this year. He played less than Lane Johnson, who hasn't played since week 10, right? So I'm just not quite sure why you go out and sign a guy like that and then just don't bring him up. It doesn't make any sense to me. The Cowing situation was another one. Like you're giving reps and all to someone who you're not going to play. I don't know, that didn't make any sense to me either. We do a lot of questionable things with these elevations, and we've seen it all year long where we go and we get someone, elevate them, or we make them active, and then they don't get on the field. So even if they did activate these guys, who knows if they would have played anyway. But I don't know. I can't call it with these elevations and inactives and not giving guys time, signing people, not to bring them in, and I just don't know what it means. I don't know what it means. It's like, all right, let's just give away some money for someone that we're not going to use at all. I don't get it.
I think he was an insurance policy. Oh, thank you, Kenny. Brent Toth. Because if you remember, not only was Tatum Bethune hurt last week and then eventually ruled out for the rest of the year, but D. Winters, who I just listed, was hurt as well. So Kaiser White, I think, was the insurance policy to D. Winters. Now, they did elevate Jalen Graham, but this makes me believe maybe there's some hope around D. Winters that he can go. Or maybe they just feel like, hey, Kaiser White hadn't played since mid-December or late November, I want to say, when he was released by the Titans. Maybe they just felt he wasn't up to game shape. He didn't pick up the defense quick enough. It's hard to ask somebody to get signed on like a Tuesday or a Monday afternoon and then come in and play a playoff game that Sunday. At least the other guy, D. Winters and Jalen Graham, have been here the whole time.
You have more information than I do. I'm looking at his Pro Football Reference, and it says the only game he's played this year was September 21st for Kaiser White. So that's why I haven't seen him.
Oh well, no,
with more.
that could be very well true. I was just going off of when he was released by the Titans, even though the report
Oh
that
yeah,
came
yeah.
out per his agent was that they agreed to mutually part ways, like it was a breakup.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, yeah, and obviously I saw people were upset with Jacob Cowing not being activated. We look last week we really needed somebody with speed, right? I don't know if Jacob Cowing is that guy. Like, has he done anything aside from like one big catch versus the Chiefs? I don't know. Not that I can think of.
Maybe not, but I mean, so if we needed speed so badly last week, and Ricky Pearsall is sincerely a game time decision, my question is basically what Ronnie says at 8:48. It's one of the first comments in there. He says, "Why Malik Turner over Jordan Watkins?" Right, and so I would love to get your guys' thoughts on that. Yeah, just if we're looking for speed, someone that could take the top off. I mean, are we going to stick with Sky Moore? He's not slow by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm not dumping on him or anything like that. But how do they do Malik Turner over Jordan Watkins? Why do you think that he's got the nod over Watkins? What do you think?
Isn't Malik Turner a vet? Like, hasn't he been here for a while?
Yeah, and I think he plays special teams as well, right?
I think that's your answer right there. I think that Kyle Shanahan values that over everything else, really. I mean, the speed is what Watkins has. Watkins has one catch on the year, if I can remember correctly. Plus the fact that he's a rookie. Unfortunately, I just think that's the reason why. And I think if you're counting on Malik Turner or Jordan Watkins to be the guy, you're probably already down and out. Like, if I'm being completely honest with you, this game needs to be won by the Juwan Jennings, George Kittle, Christian McCaffreys, not the Malik Turners or Jordan Watkins, in my opinion. We do have a super chat though from our guy Perk Dog. He says, "Yeah, rep that shit."
Let's go, Perk, man. Salute to you, big dog. Thank you very much for the super chat. We appreciate it, man. Yeah. Listen, man, we're gonna rep, like I said, no matter what, man. You should have seen me at work. I'm wearing my coat and everything, and they're like, guys, I was getting it all week long, man. So I wanted to go to the Niners. They have like the little local thing out here in Philly, but you have to get tickets for it, and they were sold out. So I couldn't, and they were free. So they were. I guess I don't know if you still say sold out if it weren't for sale, but yeah. So I couldn't make it to that, but it's all good. You know, we'll be here, and we still rep him, man, no matter what. You know, the faithful out here, they are very, very deep. I saw some pictures from it, so the guys are out there. And I was surprised that as many people showed up because it's been raining out here. It's been raining all day long, so it's gonna be an interesting game tomorrow for sure.
Daniel Garcia says Sky's the only wide receiver with some speed, and that is a good point. I think that if there is a receiver that's not Ricky Pearsall that Kyle Shanahan is going to try and use to take the top off, it's going to be Sky Moore. We saw it last week versus Seattle in that fourth down play where he was open, like the play worked as designed. The O-line just didn't hold up enough, so maybe he trusts Sky Moore more in that role than a Jordan Watkins or Jacob Cowing. That's my take. Robinson is quick
he's got
too, but
4.41 speed. Robinson was quick as a rookie, but he's 30 years old now, so I don't know if he's as fast as what we want to give him credit for.
Yeah.
So,
Matt, let us know when you're good to come in. Otherwise, I think that I don't know. I think there's a little bit too much being made over the who they picked and who they didn't. You're gonna have to go with who you got, honestly. And
if Ricky Pearsall doesn't play again, you're not worried? Like, let's be completely honest here. Like, you're saying this, like, I don't know.
What do you mean? Am I not worried? Of course I'm worried. But is Jordan Watkins or Jacob Cowing going to fill that Ricky Pearsall role? I don't think so.
But you could do it. You could do it by committee. It doesn't have to be just one guy taking all of his snaps, right? Like, you can mix it up a little bit. And maybe that's the plan with Malik. You know, I mean, he's a nice size receiver too. Let me be clear. I'm not dumping on the guy. He's a 6'2" guy and he's got some speed. Also, he's an undrafted guy. But you know, he's a decent guy. But I would have liked to see someone that we've invested picks in. You know what I mean? Cowing, like, if not now, dude, when? And they released that little clip of him running out there. He looked good.
He
in the
did.
clip that they released. So it's like, dude, like, what is it the playbook that he just can't grasp? And Kyle's not going to tolerate a lot of mistakes, so he's going to go with the guys that he trusts, right? So Cowing, this is not the game that you can come in here and run the wrong route or anything like that, you know. And I think that's why we see the decline of guys like Kendrick Bourne, you know, who down to the last game that we were playing, he ran the wrong route and things like that. So maybe that's why you see guys like Kendrick Bourne not get as much burn as what us faithful think they should, and why guys like Cowing can't break into the lineup. But Malik Turner and Sky Moore both are 4-4 guys. So I mean, let's see how they play out.
Yeah, Howdy 49ers says there's enough speed. Purdy just needs more time in the pocket. He was in a blender last week. There were dudes open. I disagree with the first statement. I don't think there's enough speed if Ricky Pearsall isn't out there. The rest of the guys are slow, aside from Sky Moore, especially if you have a corner on them. Now, George Kittle is a size mismatch with corners, but speed-wise, he's not fast enough to outrun them. He's fast enough to outrun most linebackers, but Juwan Jennings isn't outrunning anybody. Demarcus Robinson isn't outrunning anybody. Sky Moore might, but he hasn't had too many targets. So it would be tough. It would be tough. Yep. Jacob Cowing was ruled out today. Kyle had said earlier in the week he probably wasn't going to play. I mean, he hadn't played all year, so maybe that was just the reasoning that they're not going to activate him and then 4 days later play him in a playoff game. So who knows? As far as the Eagles injuries, Mike, we talked about Lane Johnson. The 49ers, kind of the running gag on this show is it doesn't matter who's in or who's out. They're not getting pressure. Does it matter if Johnson plays? Should they just rest him at this point? From an Eagles standpoint, like how do you feel about that?
Yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I'm not rushing him back. I'm not rushing him back at all. Let him sit one more. This should be, if I'm the Eagles, I feel like this is a winnable game. I feel like the Niners defense doesn't get a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks. Now, flip it to what I think that plays into the Niners. You give Jalen Hurts too much time, he overthinks. That's when he becomes inaccurate, right? When he can just hit his back foot and throw, and he does that half-field read thing that they do with him, he can be accurate and he can pick you apart, right? But if you give him too much time and he gets a little arrogant, starts feeling himself, that's when he starts making mistakes. So the lack of pass rush is all by design. And Dre, you're right. I wasn't talking about Kendrick running a wrong route. Specifically last game. I did say last game when I said it, but we've seen him running wrong routes in the last couple of games. And, they're pointing to each other and he's patting his chest. We've seen it. Like, this isn't something new. We've seen that in the last 3 weeks of the regular season. So, and that was my point with that. But, yeah, if I'm the Eagles, I'm not rushing Lane Johnson back. You sit there. We know what we got when we get you in here. Don't rush him back, especially if he's dealing with a bunch of soreness and all that stuff. Let him relax.
Troy Noel, Kyle's going to run CMC into the ground tomorrow. Watch, I feel bad for CMC. He's our whole offense.
Stop it with the feel bad nonsense.
You do what you got to do to win.
It's more than that. He's a really good fucking player. Like, what are we talking about? Why do we feel bad for using a good player?
15 touches? It's like, we're not going to win it, and evidently so.
And it didn't.
Last week's, yeah.
Right. So, like, what are we talking about here, right? Like, everyone has been saying the Eagles have been misusing Saquon Barkley this year. Here we are using those were the two top guys, right? I'm talking about covers of Maddens in back-to-back years, right? You don't use one guy, and Eagles fans are pissed off, right? Here we are using our guy, and people are like, oh, man, like, he's getting run into the ground. Like, this is what earned him the Madden cover in the first place. Yeah. So, like, let's not feel bad for it. That's why he's here. And more importantly than that, I guarantee you the one player that doesn't feel like they're not being used enough is Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
He
wants to be used more.
Wants to be out there. Yeah, he wants to be out there. So let's not feel bad for a guy going out there doing his job.
Yeah. Isn't Dobbs a free agent at wide receiver? Romeo Dobbs? It's a good question. I don't know. He does have some speed. I don't know. I agree with you, Mike, that Lane Johnson, that could affect the 49ers and play into their hand because they're not necessarily, we're not getting pressure. Like we did get a little bit of pressure last week against Sam Darnold and we got 2 sacks, which was like amazing, right? But I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. Jalen Hurts is a little bit more mobile than Sam Darnold. he's slow. Like he's like weirdly, he's like one of those quarterbacks that you see like, and he looks like he's going like half speed, but for some reason the defense can't catch up to him. Like that's what I see when I see Jalen Hurts, because he's always able to get like 10, 15 yards out of his scrambles, but he doesn't look necessarily quick. So if the 49ers can trap him and contain him in the pocket, which doesn't necessarily involve getting pressures, then I think they can make him overthink or try to do too much, and that's when the mistakes happen. I just want to remind you guys, this is a guy who had 5 turnovers in a game like 5 weeks ago versus the Chargers. He's the only player that I think in NFL history to throw an interception and fumble on the same play. Lose a fumble, I should say. Do you remember that play, Mike?
Yeah.
Absolutely
it was a
hilarious.
really weird thing. Yeah, like it's like, dude, like pick it up. What do you do? Or fall on it, right? Like it was just too much going on. Yeah.
Throws the interception. Big man's coming back with the ball, gets it popped out. Jalen Hurts gets it, and then he gets it popped out again. Chargers get on it. So just hilariously, we need that. Is it Benny Hill theme song? You needed that playing to that clip. But yeah, I had been saying since we found out who we were playing that the 49ers need at least one of Trent Williams and Ricky Pearsall to play, at least one of them, in order to have a shot at winning tomorrow. Mike, who would you say is more valuable and gives the 49ers the best chance to win? If you could only have one of them, would it be Trent or Ricky?
That's tough, man. It really, really is. You know what? It's not tough. Brock Purdy's going to get the ball to the guys if they're open, he has time. So I'm going to say Trent. I completely trust Brock Purdy. I wish you guys knew how much trust he's garnered with me lately. My tune has completely changed on him. So I say Trent is the more important guy.
Okay. I think I agree with you. I really do, because even if the passing game isn't necessarily going, if they could get the running game going, which Trent helps tremendously in, it would look completely different, and the 49ers may be able to control the time of possession, may be able to have those long sustained drives. I've seen the rankings, but passing, like going off the eye test, in my opinion, the Eagles defense isn't quite on par with the Seahawks defense. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I do agree with it. And there was a point in time where, and I have Kyle's stats versus Vic Fangio pulled up if you guys want to get into it. But Fangio, we've experienced him here, guys. He's a very stubborn guy. He doesn't like to substitute his players in and out. He will run those guys into the ground. He doesn't like to blitz if he doesn't have to. And they don't have that same defensive line that they had in years past. Now, are they good? Absolutely. Will they generate pressures? For sure. But if you look at when their defensive line really, really shined, if you look at all the games, there are about 6 or 7 of them in particular where they shined, and all 6 of them were against their division opponents and then the Raiders game. Right. So what are we? The Niners are significantly better than those teams as far as the offensive line goes. Maybe the Giants have a formidable offensive line, but when you look at the rankings, the Niners rank 3rd in pass protecting offensive line. So we're not bad when Trent's in there. We're not bad at all. So, and we weren't bad the game that we lost Trent on that first snap, right? And the game plan went as expected. I feel like Kyle maybe did a little too much adjusting to life without Trent instead of just running the same type of plays as if Trent was in there. I really wish that he didn't do that going into that week. But, it is what it is. We can't change it. Can't put toothpaste back in the tube once it comes out. Right. So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Blackbeard 805 says Gibson had a sack for the Panthers. Not sure why we signed a linebacker from the Broncos. You're referring to Trevis Gibson, I believe. He was claimed, like the 49ers had him on the practice squad, and the Panthers claimed him to sign to their active roster. So he wasn't on the 49ers active roster. I think they were trying to play the numbers game and outsmart the system, but unfortunately the Panthers, you're able to do that. You could sign somebody off of another team's practice squad to your active roster, and they did that, and he was on their active roster for the rest of the season. So the 49ers didn't really have a shot there. I don't even know off the top of my head if a team can say, no, we're going to sign him. I don't know if they have the first right of refusal. No, right?
He's either there or he's not. That's it. If he's on your practice squad and someone calls and says we're signing you, then that's it. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. My man Matt is in the building, baby.
What a day. What a day at work.
How you doing?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling like I want to become an electrician. But that's all right. We'll figure it out.
You missed some great games. Hopefully you're able to listen to at least.
I mean, I saw the end of that massive choke job that the Green Bay Packers threw out.
Yeah. Embarrassing. Completely embarrassing.
Yeah. And sad to see that, you know, the Rams were able to ass backwards their way into a victory. Although that doesn't that's going to be one of two, right? It's going to go one of two ways. Either that galvanizes them, that close victory, close call galvanizes them and they, you know, run the table, or they blew their wad and they're going to get beat by whoever they play next week. So we'll see.
Which would be
I feel like
the Niners.
I felt like the Panthers did everything they could to give that game away and make it a blowout to begin with, and the Rams just kept letting them back in it.
The first half, they had a couple of untimely turnovers. But the second half, man, they really did rally. I was surprised by their effort. I'm being honest with you. It was pretty impressive what they were doing down the stretch, and then at the end of it, they just last drive couldn't get it done.
Question for you, non-49ers related: did Bryce Young prove enough this year to Warner? I think he's on a 5th year. This was his 5th year. No, it couldn't be. Next year's his 5th year, I want to say.
You're wondering if he should get an extension.
The Panthers announced that they picked up his 5th-year option today.
Okay, today. Wow.
I guess it was reported that the Panthers will pick up his 5th-year option.
Got
it. Was reported today.
So I guess they have another year.
Yeah.
Before they have to commit. I thought he played really well. That last touchdown pass to, I want to say it was to Coker in the left corner of the end zone on 4th down, I think it was. Great throw. Absolutely great throw. Pressure in his face. Dropped it in the corner. He was able to pull it in. He just dropped it. Great throw.
Yeah. So he was drafted in 2023. This is the end of his 3rd year.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah, because he and Caleb were the same class, right?
Yeah,
No. He was the year before Caleb.
Yeah.
He and Stroud.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Right. So this was the end of his 3rd year. It's pretty cool that they announced it already that they're keeping him for one more year.
The team didn't. It was a reporter reported that they were.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I don't think they're allowed to until the new league year.
Right.
You have to be in your 4th year to announce that you're picking up a 5th-year option.
And I don't know that his play this year warranted it because he's very, very inconsistent, right? Like the games that he's on, it's like, oh, wow, this guy's good. Then he'll have a game where he throws like 125 yards with like 30 attempts. Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing out there? So wake it up, right? But, you know, I don't – you've seen signs and flashes, but the truth of the matter is this rookie draft class might be worse than the one that we just left. And you happen to find some studs in there. I think Jackson Dart, minus the concussions, was a good pick. What's the other guy's name that's doing well?
Shuck.
There's another Show or Shuck or whatever his name is. Yeah, he's another guy that's doing well. But, I mean, none of these guys were like, oh, that's definitely a franchise guy right there. You know what I mean? It's just you have your favorites of the ones that are available. And so this draft class is looking like it's going to be very, very similar to that.
Yeah, man. Wild day of games. So, like we said, if the 49ers win, they have a matchup in Seattle waiting for them. If the Eagles win, the Rams go to Seattle and the Eagles... No, sorry. Yeah, the Rams go to Seattle and the Eagles would go to Chicago. So those are the two potential matchups for the divisional round. We'll see how it shakes out tomorrow afternoon. But so far, it's been 2 games. And by the way, both underdogs played pretty well. So the 49ers have a chance to be the 3rd underdog. It could be the first one that wins because so far both favorites have won. Packers were underdogs by 1 point. Or 1.5, I think I took it, but I thought that was a lock for sure. And I was feeling so good that first 3 quarters, even in the 4th quarter, they were up 21-6, and they just had to choke. So,
dude, Jordan Love is the most unclutch fucking quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
That last play wasn't his fault, though.
It is. Quarterback you got to get your hand on the ball, brother.
It was also a replacement center.
I don't give a fuck. You're the quarterback, man. You get the glory and you get the blame.
I mean, he did get his hand on it, and then he picked it up, and then he scrambled around. He cleared the pocket out and everything. Now, listen, I'm not making any excuses for him. He threw a bad interception in the game and everything. So let me be, you know.
Shocking. Jordan Love threw a bad pick in the playoff game. No way.
I don't like
Really?
him. I like that we would have to play against him. I want them to keep him as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the type of quarterback that I want to go against. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he threw a pass on that last drive that went right through a receiver's hands. I mean, there's only so much a quarterback can do.
Jordan Love,
but that last throw was terrible.
Jordan Love is like when you go to a fancy restaurant, right? You go to a fancy little steakhouse, you think you're getting the thing, and the guy comes out and just does a little salt thing and gives you a fucking overcooked flank steak. That's what Jordan Love is.
If a
it's
guy
all
ever
sizzle,
rolls
no
salt off
substance.
of his elbow onto my steak, I might hit him in the face.
I'm just saying.
remember Salt Bay. Don't do that shit on my steak, bro.
Now, listen, I was super critical of Caleb Williams. I didn't think he was jack shit, but I got to give him props. That was their 7th fourth quarter comeback of the year. Mm-hmm. So, like,
their biggest
the only one they didn't
comeback
get was against us.
Yep.
Yeah, it was just us. Yeah, their biggest comeback in playoff history for the Bears, 18-point deficit they overcame to come back and win. So, you know, I mean, look, it speaks to the coaching staffs. Coaching really is important in the NFL, and that's what I'm banking on going into this game against the Eagles.
100%.
Yeah. Matt, do you think LaFleur is out?
I think that at the very least this will table his extension.
Yeah, with John Harbaugh sitting out there, I just think the Packers.
John Harbaugh snatched up. Just nobody knows it yet.
You think? They said he was taking a week.
No, he's going to Miami. It's already set in stone.
Okay.
In my opinion, he has ancillary connections to the general manager that they just hired. And apparently word on the street is that John Harbaugh and Stephen Ross are actually pretty close.
So it was like when the Niners hired John Lynch before they hired Kyle Shanahan, and
right.
So it's one of those things. Okay, I got
right.
you. And for those of you who don't remember, during our hiring cycle, Shanahan was still in the playoffs, so they couldn't announce that yet. They announced John Lynch first because that was Kyle's guy, and then after they lost, then we hired Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah. Now, if I'm Stephen Ross, I do that with the promise, like, hey, I don't care if it's whoever's on this roster, whatever it takes, however many draft picks, I'm going to go try and pry Joe Burrow from Cincinnati. And then you can start with Joe Burrow and we'll fill in around. You know, the first year is going to be a wash anyway. They're going to be in cap hell because of Tua, who they're going to get rid of. And I think I still think that Tyreek Hill has a big cap hit. So,
damn.
That's just my opinion. I don't have that on. I'm just like following it. Like literally the day that John Harbaugh got fired, Mike McDaniel got fired. And you don't do that for no reason. Otherwise, they would have fired him on Black Monday. They waited until Harbaugh got fired.
The
and
reporting,
then they were like, oh, out.
The reporting was that Mike McDaniel was able to come in, have an end-of-the-year meeting, have exit interviews with the players, talk about his plan for next season. And Stephen Ross, the Dolphins owner, seemed to be impressed with his plan and convinced enough to move forward with him. And then 3 days later, he got called in the office, and I think it was Tom Pelissero who was saying he walked into this office with no belief in his mind that he was about to get let go, and he was. Like you said, Matt, if you're firing a coach, typically it's on Black Monday. You don't wait 3 additional days
100%.
to do it. So that is a good point.
I also misspoke. Jordan Love was not the one with the bad bad interception. It was Caleb Williams that had the really bad interception in this game. My bad.
On
he
fourth
threw
down, to
two
be
picks.
fair.
Yeah, but he threw two picks in this game. Love was actually his stat line anyway. 4 touchdowns. It's pretty good.
You know what I noticed about Jordan Love, though? Here's the thing. Because I was able to watch the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. He doesn't have any touch. He fires the ball. It's like 100 miles an hour every time. The balls that were bouncing off his receiver's hands, he was firing them in there way too hard. He doesn't throw a very super catch. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it reminds me of. He's like what Kaepernick would have been if he developed more, he's a better version of Kaepernick.
And I think you can win with a quarterback like Jordan Love. I'm not here to dump on the guy or anything like that. I think
someone out here said that Harbaugh was going to go to Tennessee. Nobody wants to go to that dumpster fire of an organization. They fired Mike Vrabel
Right.
Hello.
Yeah.
They got rid of Malik Willis, who looks like he's somebody in Green Bay. Like Malik Willis is going to get a huge contract because of what he showed while Jordan Love was out. He showed enough that somebody's going to be like, I can make Jordan, or I can make Malik Willis a star. You know, they didn't. How long did they give Malik Willis? They've been a dysfunctional franchise forever. Like, I would argue far more dysfunctional than Miami. At least Miami tries.
Didn't they have AJ Brown? Isn't that where AJ Brown was drafted?
Yeah, they did have AJ Brown.
Gee, they had AJ Brown, Derrick Henry. Like, oh, stop it.
Derrick Henry,
No one good is going to Tennessee.
Do you guys remember that like blip of a period where it was Tennessee and Baltimore that kind of became like a rivalry for a second because they met in the playoffs like 2 or 3 times?
Right.
It's like a blip in time. You don't even remember that memory. Kind of like the 49ers Eagles. That was a rivalry for a little bit.
Brian Billick and Jeff Fisher.
Oh, I'm talking more recently than that. Vrabel and Harbaugh. When they had Tannehill and I remember the Ravens going on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I feel like that was 1 year. Yeah,
stomping all over the Titans logo and shit. And interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we went over the injury report earlier, Matt. The 2 biggest ones are Trent and Ricky. We all know Trent reportedly is good to go. Ricky is a game time decision. Was limited or did not. I don't think he practiced at all week, right? He was jogging on the sidelines. He was seen going with the team for the final installs this morning. I don't know if that means anything, but it would be very disappointing if he doesn't go, honestly.
100%.
Because this is the biggest game. This is it. Like, what are you saving yourself for if not this? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is unfortunate.
I'm hoping, I'm hoping. Here's the thing. I'm hoping that Kyle coaches like his back's against the wall because, I mean, it kind of is. Or, like Apollo Creed says in Rocky 3, there is no tomorrow.
Right. Do you guys remember, was it 21, 22, when we went to the Rams and ended up losing in the championship game? Mm-hmm. Trent Williams had a ankle injury that he came back to play in that game, ended up playing poorly, and then said, I almost wish I didn't play because I hurt the team. Are you guys afraid of that happening tomorrow? Like, he's toughing it out to be there, but do you think there's like a chance that he hurts? And is there any chance where a healthy Austin Pleasance gives you more than a 50% Trent Williams? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I think he was doing the leader thing and running cover for Jimmy Garoppolo because I don't think Trent Williams was the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo did the whirling dervish backwards pass thingy and almost got picked off by Jalen Ramsey like 4 times.
That is fair, but he had a bad game.
Trent did. I was gonna say but he did have a bad.
He did have a bad game, but
Now here's the good thing. Kyle has installed the game plan as if Trent is there. So if nothing else, let's say Trent has a bad couple of series and he says, you know what, guys, I'm hurt. I think that experience will let him say, I'm not going to try to power through this. Put him in. I trust in Austin. I think he'll talk Austin up before he actually goes in there. So keep your eyes on the sideline to see if Trenton's whispering into his ear because I think they'll make that change. I do. Yeah. And not for nothing, he's allowed to go back in. It's not like he's going out because of an injury or something like that, and they're going to rule him out, right? They can list him as questionable to return all they want all game long. So, if he goes out there and it's too much for him, he can step back, right, and then put Austin in. If he feels like, all right, guys, I think I'm good. I work out on the sideline. I'm good to come back in. He can do that. And I saw that question by Jesus. He's asking about the vertical thing. This is just something that the streams do now. It's like an automatic thing when you create a video on YouTube. There's 2 links for every YouTube video now, so you can swap it out and go to the horizontal full screen stream instead.
Yeah, out of our control, unfortunately. And Lade Johnson, like we said earlier, is a game time decision. He's been dealing with that foot injury for 8 weeks now, I want to say.
And Toth, the backup, is ruled out. So
yeah, concussion. So we shall see what that's going to look like come tomorrow.
The fact that Lane Johnson's a game time decision, I don't know if that bodes well because they said he was like full go earlier in the week, which tells me that he's not responding well to increased activity.
Also, I saw reports that it was a 4 to 6 week timeline.
And he was
he's
out
like
for like 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the
He's been out
week.
since week 10. Well, he
Yeah.
played week 10. That was the last time he played. So, yeah.
So interesting. He was a full participant in practice. Oh, no. He was limited, I think. Lane Johnson. Let me see. I have it up right here. Yeah, limited. But from what the reports that I saw, everybody was saying he looked good. He looked like he was good to go. He was fully participating. But earlier today, Jay Glazer and others were reporting that he's dealing with significant bruising and swelling in the foot. So he's waiting to see what it looks like tomorrow.
Significant bruising is he ain't playing.
I mean, he's 35 years old too, so I mean, he's not going to play probably.
But like, you go from being okay and then starting to practice, and then the minute you do it, your whole shit blows up. Like, that's not a good sign, man.
Yeah. And
What was the OG injury? What do you have?
I thought it was like a Lisfranc, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's not good, man. Especially with some of these bigger dudes. Like, you already get poor circulation to your feet, you know? And the bigger you are, the worse it is, so.
Apparently, Jason Dumas, who is kind of like a local beat reporter in Philly, 4 hours ago said that he's told he will play despite the pain and swelling in his foot. But then the question remains, how long will he play?
Going to be
or effective, because the last couple of games he's played, tried to tough through this, he doesn't finish the game. He comes out. So we'll see. It is a big deal for the Eagles because I just had the record up here with Lane Johnson. They are 110. This is going back to 2013. With Lane Johnson, they are 110, 57, and 1. Without Lane Johnson, they are 18 and 27. And on the flip side, Trent Williams, Chase Sr. put this stat out. Since 2020, the Niners are 61 and 32 with Trent, 4 and 13 without Trent. Now, one of those 4, to be fair, was against Chicago a couple weeks ago, but this Eagles defense is nothing like the Bears defense. Completely different animal. So, Mike, you good? What are you cracking up on over there?
Every time I hear the last name Dumas, I think about that. You guys ever see that old A&W root beer commercial?
No.
You guys have there? Oh my God! Here, I'm gonna. he's like the guy's interviewing for a job, and he's like, all right, Mr. Dumbass, like, I am telling you, I am dumbass material. Like, I can bring a lot to Dumbass and Dumbass Incorporated. And he's like, so tell me, dumbass, am I your guy or not? And he was like, it's Dumas. As soon as you said it, like, I broke out in sweats because I love that commercial when it was out. I put the link in. I don't know if you guys would have played it up, but
Let's do it. Might
it's
as
funny.
well.
All right. It's a very old commercial. I'm sorry.
Mr. Dumbass, I can bring a lot to Dumbass and Dumbass. I'm a go-getter. Dumbass material all the way. So, am I your man, Mr. Dumbass?
The name is Dumas.
That's pretty thick-headed, but nothing compared to the rich, thick, frosty mug taste of an A&W root beer.
Oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. I've never seen that
good.
before. 16 years ago.
I briefly remember seeing something like that. I'm with Eddie G and the B Dogs. I think of Shawshank Redemption.
Oh God. From Dumas. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He's like,
I get it.
Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumbass. Dumbass.
Sorry, man. I lost all train of thought.
That's
I apologize,
funny.
guys.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get into this game a little bit. The 49ers, this line opened at 3 or 3.5, depending on where you're looking. It's moved all the way to what, 6 points, I want to say. Let me see what ESPN has it at. ESPN has the line at, come on. Was it not right here? Oh, here we go.
Philadelphia
6.
-6. Yeah.
6 points. So the 49ers are 6-point underdogs. The Panthers were 10-point underdogs this morning. They ended up losing by 3. Do you guys think that that's a correct line? Like, I mean, 6 points. Do you guys think that the Eagles should be favored by 6 against this team? Now the Niners are dealing with injuries, and I think that's why the line moved a bit, another 3 points.
It's interesting, right? Because the 49ers are 6-point underdogs. We are on the road, but the 49ers have more wins than the Eagles do.
Correct.
And played in a tougher division, right? Both teams were 3-3 in the division.
4-2.
4-2. So
We
the
were
Niners were
4-2.
better in a tougher division.
But the Eagles have some wins against some good teams and playoff teams, and the Niners do not have that this year. So the
We
Eagles
beat
went out
Seattle
and
and the Rams.
They beat Seattle, they beat the Rams, they beat the Bills. Like, so I
The
understand.
Niners.
The Niners beat the Rams and the Seahawks. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I heard you and just kept going. My apologies.
I mean, you
But,
can only
like,
play who you play, but when you sit there and you tell me that, the 49ers, what's the 49ers' worst loss on their schedule?
Houston or the
Texans.
Rams.
Right.
Well, the Rams one got out of hand quickly. I
Okay.
think that's the
Well,
biggest
no, but I'm
margin.
saying, like, who was the worst team that the 49ers lost to?
Oh.
Jacksonville.
No, Jacksonville's
Oh,
hot.
Jacksonville. The number 3 seed.
I think they're the worst.
I'm
team.
just
That's what
saying, like, they lost to Jacksonville,
Right.
they lost to Seattle, they lost to the Rams, they lost to the Texans, and they lost.
the Colts. The Colts.
Colts.
No, we beat the Colts.
No, we beat the Colts.
Yeah. That's right.
5
that's right,
losses. Seattle, the Rams, the Jags, the Texans, and how am I forgetting the last? Oh, the Bucks.
The Buccaneers.
Bucs.
So the Buccaneers
So that's
were the
our
worst
worst loss.
Were the worst
That's our
loss.
worst loss. And at
And
that
then-
time, they weren't a bad
No,
team. By the way,
Baker
No,
was like
they
an
were
MVP
hot.
candidate.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they were healthy. That was when Njigba was like, or
Ibuka.
not, Njigba, Ibuka was all
Ibuka,
over the place
Yeah.
before he fell apart, So if that's your worst loss, and then you're going to tell me that the Eagles, I think they got their fucking shit pushed in by the Giants.
They got their ass spit in.
Yeah. By the Giants.
Balls.
So it's like,
Jesus.
They lost that game 34-17 on Thursday night.
yeah. So
Right
it's
there.
like,
Wait, great comment here by Lou Chisel. I don't know. This is one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. Angels in the Outfield.
Oh yeah.
But I believe we're going to be out there flapping, right? Like that was a phenomenal baseball movie. If you guys have never seen it, if you got kids, make them watch it, man. It's
a great
that's
movie.
A great movie right there.
That's
I love
Tony
Angels in the Outfield.
Danza, right? Tony
Tony
Danza,
Danza,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, Danny Glover, Christopher
man.
Lloyd as the Angel.
That's right. Phenomenal
Bro.
movie, man.
Do you want to hear something crazy?
You know Christopher Lloyd?
No.
Oh.
When Christopher Lloyd shot the first Back to the Future movie, he was younger
on
than
coke.
I am now.
Shut the hell up. So he's like
100%.
he's like the white version of Morgan Freeman. Like he's never been young on camera. Like,
Oh shit!
like they've always just looked old as shit in every movie I've ever seen him in. Even when Christopher Lloyd did he had an episode on Big Bang Theory. I'm like, this guy looks exactly the same as he did in Back to the Future movies.
That's crazy.
Which, by the way, I've
Cigarettes.
never seen one.
Cigarettes, drinking, lead, all that shit made people look hella
yeah,
old.
man, hard life,
Asbestos.
hard life.
Yeah.
No sleep.
It's like when you watch old football, like if you go back and watch some of the old football, and it's like that guy's 23. Like, look at how old all these
Right.
football players look. You ever watch football games?
Yeah.
Like, yo, I swear to God, they're 50 years old playing football, man.
Even like old videos of like kids in high school. It's like this dude looks older than me now, and he's like 16.
Right.
Like,
And
what
now
the
you
fuck?
understand why they cast 26-year-olds to play high school
Yeah.
students in movies, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, somebody else commented too that they got their shit pushed in by the Bears on Black Friday, 24-15. The Bears had like 300 rushing yards that game, like just insane stuff. Now, to be fair, I think that was one of the ones that Jalen Carter was hurt and out on, but they've had some ugly losses this year. I mean, they lost to the Broncos 21-17. That one looks good because the Broncos ended up getting the first seed. They lost to the Giants 34-17. They lost to the Cowboys 24-21 when they were up 21-0 in this game. The Bears 24-15. Chargers 22-19. That was the 5 turnover game by Jalen Hurts. And then they ended the season with a 24-17 loss to the Commanders. Now, they didn't play their starters, to be fair, but still. The 49ers never had back-to-back losses Eagles had a 3-game losing streak.
Also, when while we're talking about the spread, we have to understand how it works, right? Started at 3.5, something like that. What was it? 3?
Three.
It was 3.5. Was it 3?
I saw
Which,
3.
by the way, the home team gets 3 just out the gate. So that's basically like a push, right? On neutral field, it's a push. Philadelphia is one of the most densely populated cities in the entire country, and they all bet. So to them, they watch the Niners go out there and get obliterated week 18. They're like, oh, yeah, we're going to go out there. And look at how many points we just put up, right? So this is what they're thinking. We sat all of our offensive starters, a lot of our defensive starters. Look at how many points we put up. Yes, in the loss, but still, look how many points our backups put up. We're well-rested. The Niners went out there in a must-win game or had-to-have-it type of game and only put up 3 points. Our defense is really good. So, boom, Eagles fans start betting heavy on the Eagles. Well, Vegas isn't just going to give that money away, so now they got to spread that. They got to make the betting lines go up more. Like, you're going to put all this money on them. All right, well, are you still going to put that money on them if they're 4 points? What about 5 points? What about 6 points? So now Vegas is hedging the bets now, and they're switching it up a little bit. So when the Niners win outright, all those people lose their money, and Vegas walks away. I'm saying Vegas, but the bettors, the gambling sites and all that. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it works. So you guys got to remember how it works, guys. So when the line starts one way and it doubles, in 6 days, like that's telling you something. That's just where they're laying the money. Also, because one line that I haven't seen jump like that is that Jaguars and Bills line. That shit has been steady Eddie, 1.5, 1.5. So
yeah. They also were expecting Trent and Ricky not to play. That's when the line really moved up. I think it moved up to like 4.5, and then with news that Trent wasn't going to play, it jumped up to 6. So,
right.
But now we have reporting that Trent is going to play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We shall see.
I'm so excited for this game. Sorry.
Last week, we talked about Christian McCaffrey and the Niners not being able to run the ball. I think he had like 5 carries or something like that for 23 yards or something ridiculous like that.
Something horrible. Yeah.
Let me see. I have it here.
He finished the game with
8 carries for 23 yards.
Yeah. It was not good.
And
no bueno.
6 receptions for 34 yards. Yep. Jawan was the leading receiver, 4 receptions for 35 yards. This running game, we've seen that the Eagles can be ran on, right? Like it's not easy, but you can run on these Eagles. What do you expect tomorrow, Mike? I'll start with you from the 49ers running game with Trent.
All right, so I don't expect CMC to have a 120 rushing yards or anything like that. But by committee, I think the Niners do finish with over 100 total rushing yards. And that's saying something because last game we weren't close to it. You know what I'm saying? And like you mentioned earlier, they gave up a ton of rushing yards against a team like the Bears. Now, the Bears have a really good run scheme. We've seen it ourselves. You know what I mean? Like they can move the ball. I don't think we're quite as good as the Bears as far as running by committee and all that, or the creativity in the run game or anything. But we can definitely make them pay. We're talking about whether or not Trent's going to be there, and if he is, great. But Trent plus Kittle, the Niners are going to move the ball on the ground very well. And so I do think that we have over a total of 100, probably like 120, 140 total rushing yards in the game tomorrow. We can definitely move the ball on the ground on them.
That sounds very, very promising if so, because when the 49ers have over 100 rushing yards, I'd imagine their chances of winning go up and up and up. Matt, is this a game where the 49ers maybe should sprinkle in Brian Robinson a little more in the running game if it's not going with Christian McCaffrey, because we've seen them reluctant to do so? I don't know. What are your thoughts on maybe giving him a little more carries?
I mean, you could, I suppose. But I think that Brian Robinson's success comes largely because, the defense isn't as willing to stuff the box for Brian Robinson like they are for CMC. Mm-hmm. I think that as a running back, I don't think Brian Robinson's close to CMC. Not the versatility, not anything else. Now, to spell CMC, sure, I could see that. But I think it's just going to be tough sledding either way. The 49ers had a couple of weeks where they seemed to get a lot of yards per carry, but mostly for the season, they haven't. Philadelphia has been run on, but Jalen Carter's going to be back as long as he doesn't spit on anybody before the game. That it's tough, man. What's Trent Williams going to look like? Yeah. And without Trent Williams, what does the rest of the offensive line look like? Because I think that if anything, Trent Williams is a very calming influence out there on the guy next to him, and that kind of just cascades down the line. Yes, so without Trent, if Trent Williams isn't effective or isn't even out there, you could be in trouble. There could be a lot of miscommunication, and if you're not firing off and getting your blocks, especially in the running game, you're gonna have CMC breaking a bunch of tackles in the backfield like he kind of has all season. Where it's like, what was that stat in the game against the Bears where he had like 111 broken tackles or something ridiculous like that? It's like, why does he have that many broken tackles?
Right. This comment from Abe, not much of a difference maker. Vic Fangio hasn't allowed Shanahan to score above 15.
They also haven't played each other since 2018.
Right, since 2018. And
so
the quarterbacks that Shanahan had when they played.
We talk about Nick Mullins.
Yeah, Nick
Brian
Mullins,
Hoyer,
C.J. Beathard, Brian Hoyer.
And Beck.
And
who was Rex Grossman's backup.
John Beck.
So let's not pretend like this is the same. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagle fans who are in the chat. So, Abe, thank you for joining the show. We appreciate you. Keep stats like this coming and keep telling your fellow Eagle fans that we don't have anything to worry about, that we're not going to put up more than 15 points. I promise you guys that if you come in here thinking that all you need is 16 to win, you guys are going to be upset. I can promise you that right now. I can promise you that. Kyle didn't have real quarterback. He didn't have starting quarterbacks when he played against Vic Fangio. So you got to let that go, man. You absolutely have to let it go.
Yep.
It's funny. It's either a mix of we can't do anything because our OC is so bad, we're going to lose this game, or they think they're going to score like 60 points. Like, it's like a mix of what you're going to get from Eagles fans online.
And keep in mind also, when he did allow the 15 points, the Niners won. I just want to put that out there. The Bears only had 13 points in that same exact game. So you got to let that go, bro. Like, it doesn't mean anything. So
right.
Talk about how the Eagles offense has struggled, Abe. Let us know your thoughts on the Eagles offensive struggles if it's not a division game or the Raiders. So let's spread this out evenly. Come on now.
2 games this year, Jalen Hurts didn't have a single passing yard in the second half. Twice.
On,
you guys won them both.
Come on, bro. They had 17 total yards in second. Never mind. Don't get me started. It's cool. We'll stick with the flow of the show.
What I think is really like mind-boggling is they're clearly talented, right? Like, could they blow the 49ers? Of course they could. They have
their roster's better than the Niners.
Talent. Yes, they have insane talent. Their offense doesn't make sense. Maybe it's Patullo, maybe it's a mixture of everything, but they're underachieving by a wide margin, in my opinion. Like, if I'm the Eagles, this shouldn't even be like a touchdown margin of a victory, especially with the injuries the 49ers are dealing with. Like, they should take care of business handily against the 49ers. They're at home, they're rested, but then that also adds the component of all of the pressure is on one team. They're favored. Like I said, they're at home, they're rested, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. They got to go out and do it now. So, we'll see if they can. I mean, like I said, they could very easily blow the 49ers
out. All the pressure is on them.
But they haven't done that to anyone this year. That's good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you're absolutely right. Philly fans are coming to me with these stats. I heard that stat that he said there, like on Tuesday. They couldn't wait to come into my office. You know how Vic Fangio is, right? So they're listening to the radio stations and all that. They're hyping this up. I mean, this is the moment for the Philadelphia Eagles. And here's the other one that I've heard. Jalen Hurts can be bad in the regular season, but what does he do in the playoffs?
Oh boy, yeah.
That's the other one I've heard. And I'll be honest with you guys, both of his Super Bowl appearances, flawless, absolutely flawless, right? Like he goes out there and he does his thing. I'm not going to take anything away from Jalen Hurts in the postseason. But if you think that automatically, like, we just got there, now we're going to go all the way, pump your brakes, buddy. Yeah. Like he's not only been to the postseason twice. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, they're a very talented team, clearly, right? Like, they're very, very talented. They probably should have won that last game, so they would have been the second seed instead of the third. In the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? Who knows? Probably not. Their defense is clearly their bread and butter, and the 49ers struggled last week against the Seahawks defense. I don't think that the Eagles defense is quite on par as the Seahawks defense. And that's not to take anything away from them, because I still think they're an elite defense. They're probably top 5 in like just about every metric. I just think they're like 1 to 2 spots below Seattle, right? Their cornerback play is great. They have 2 All-Pros that just came out with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in the slot. Reed Blankenship's fantastic in the secondary position. It's going to be a tough matchup for the 49ers to do anything, but they need to have Trent Williams to start with and possibly Ricky Pearsall in the passing game. And if so, then I think it's like a somewhat even fight when you factor in Kyle Shanahan is the one calling plays on offense versus their defense. That's where this fight's going to be. Now, if the 49ers offense doesn't show up and we have a repeat of last week, pack it up, boys, because it's going to be an early day. Like if they got 3 points out there come halftime. Now, unless it's like 6-3, which could very well happen because this Eagles team isn't really known for putting up a ton of points against teams, not the Raiders or the Commanders or, yada, yada, yada. But we'll see. I don't know. We obviously go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
They keep wanting to talk about all this past stuff, and Jalen Hurts is 6-3 in the postseason, right? And that's cool. 4 of those wins, maybe 3, was the year they won the Super Bowl. He got another 3 the year that they lost the Super Bowl, which means that he's been there 5 times.
Well,
2 times he didn't win. He didn't win anything, right? But none of that matters. Here's what matters this year and this year only. How is your offense doing with Putrid as their offensive coordinator? Just answer that question. And how many times this year have the Niners lost back-to-back games? What's the Niners' road record versus their home record? Those are the things you need to focus on. The Niners play better on the road. Our team gets juiced up by we're on someone else's stadium and we're drowning out. Offenses have to go to silent count when the Niners are in the building. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what you need to focus on. You got to focus on this year and this year only. Now, I'll give you guys this. The Niners defense, missed tackle machines. Missed tackle machines. I'll give you guys that, right? But what does Jalen Hurts do when he's got too much time in the pocket? And that's what it's going to be about. That's it right there. That's it. Too much time in the pocket. He panics. He makes bad throws, errant throws. It's going to favor the Niners. I'm telling you guys something.
Yeah. I like the dude who's like, our defense way better than Seattle. It's like, no, it's not. No, it's
not
not
even close.
Based on what?
Not even close.
Seattle is the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL. They're number 5 in yards given up, whereas Philadelphia is the 5th ranked scoring defense, which is good, but they're 13th in yards given up.
Middle
of the road, man.
Yeah.
And when you play weak and soft as dog shit opponents like the New York Giants and the Washington Commanders, you can play between the 20s, and those teams can't close it. They're finishing with field goals instead of touchdowns.
Bingo.
When you have a team that can score in the red zone, you're going to give up more points than that. So 49ers need to finish. I will say this, like I'm sitting here looking at it like anything that happens, I'm kind of at peace with it. I think that Kyle Shanahan should win Coach of the Year. I don't know any other team that can go through this level of injuries and finish as a 12-win team. Right. Starting quarterback gone half the year. Starting tight end misses like 6 or 7 games, right? Wide receiver that you paid money to didn't even show up. First round wide receiver from last year missing every other game. Right. Trent Williams missing games. Nick Bosa gone since week 3. Fred Warner gone since week 6 or 7. Like, this guy out for a week or two, that guy out for a week or two. Yep. Most man hours lost, most snap counts lost, whatever. And they're 12-5.
Yep. And it is insane to think about. Retro Graming says, thank goodness for that good schedule. Next season will be way tougher for the Niners, which sucks. I'm not so sure of that. They got a third place schedule, right? They ended up finishing in 3rd. So also this schedule ended up being tougher than expected, right? Like going into the season, it was like, it's the easiest schedule on paper.
I think it was 14th.
Yeah, it was about 14th, 15th when it came to actually how these teams played out. The Patriots by far got the easiest schedule in the league. They only had 1 win against a winning team this year, by the way, which was that first game against the Bills. That's their only team they've beaten with a winning record this season. So we'll see who they play, how they play tomorrow.
Niners are getting Giants next year. They're getting Cowboys next year. They're getting the Dolphins next year. They're getting the Raiders next year. Like, there is some meat on the bone here. Minnesota's in a downward trend. Who knows what Washington's going to be? Depending on when they play Kansas City, is Mahomes going to play? You know what I mean?
Right.
The Cardinals are still trash. So, like, the toughest games on their schedule I'm looking at is
division.
Obviously, the Rams, the Seahawks, right in the division, and then they play Denver, Philadelphia, and the Chargers. Like, that's probably the toughest schedule on there, you know? But, I mean,
another 10-win season before the season starts.
Right,
like,
right.
What are we talking about?
That's not
minimum 10-win season. Yeah.
And, again, if they draft well or use those picks to trade and you get guys back healthy, it's, you know.
Effective free agency period. Can get a safety. I want them to stop drafting safeties. Just sign one. Because they're much better when they sign a veteran safety than when they try and draft and develop one on their own.
John Lynch does not know how to.
No.
He can't do it. He cannot scout the position he played to save his life.
I am, you know, like, the more we go along, the more I'm kind of sour on most of the Niners draft picks right now. Like, what we thought were great draft picks last year aren't looking as good this year. And I'm kind of like, all of our great picks were early. Like, we're early in the regime. You know, they're like, who's been the impact player of like the last 5 or 6 years, or like the last 5 years? After the Bosa draft, who do we have that's really like an impact player that's still on the 49ers?
Purdy, but that's kind of a, you know.
But let's be honest, they asked backwards
him.
their way into that. Yeah. It's
and he wouldn't have seen the field.
It's not like they chose him super high. And exactly, 2 people had to break parts in their lower body for him to see the field. Yeah. So, you know, I'm not going to give John Lynch credit for picking Purdy as the last pick in the draft. I don't think so.
No, I agree.
I give them credit for recognizing what they had once he was out on the field and being willing to eat the loss on the 3rd overall pick. But at the end of the day, they still drafted Trey Lance 3rd overall and gave up a bunch of fucking picks to do it, which is also a bad look. So I don't know, man. Part of me, man, I like John Lynch, but part of me wants to see him moved up as like president of football operations and have them get like a real talent evaluator in there. That's just me. I think they do a good job with trades. I think they do a good job of finding veterans that can contribute, not on a superstar level, but contribute as on-field veterans. But what position group really excels under them?
Yep. It's a good question.
I just saw a comment that said we could have had Parsons. If you guys thought that the Cowboys were going to trade Parsons to the Niners, you haven't been paying attention to the history, bro. That rivalry runs deep. That rivalry runs deep way before most of us were born. Like, that wasn't going to happen.
They weren't trading him. I was shocked they sent him to Green Bay as it was.
To the NFC, yeah. I was shocked they sent him in the NFC. But
reporting was that there weren't any offers from the AFC, like anything close to what the Packers were offering. So
nah, bro, if he got traded to the 49ers, he would have tore his ACL week 1 because we got that electrical substation by the practice facility.
I keep seeing Kaiser White's name in the chat from Niner fans and Eagles fans in here. Kaiser White's not playing, guys.
No, he wasn't activated.
He's not playing. So if you guys thought, if you were an Eagles fan and you thought that we were depending on Kaiser White,
I hate this comment. Lynch and Kyle cannot draft worth of shit. Your quarter or your coach, your head coach, can give suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's John Lynch's responsibility.
Yeah,
it's on John Lynch. He's the general manager, and you can either accept Kyle's suggestion or you can reject it. But listen, any person who's in leadership that doesn't take accountability for the people that work under him per se is not a true leader. So, you know.
And by the way, we're picking 32nd this year. So why are we talking about the draft like this? Let's focus on how to beat these damn Eagles, man.
There you go.
Like, what's our biggest concern going into this game?
Just injuries.
Is it the defense? Is it the defense for sure?
It's got to be.
To me,
But
it's
doesn't that-
everywhere. It's everywhere. To me, it's the entire team. We have been punching above our weight for weeks now. You know, like the fact that the 49ers were able to score 42 on the Bears. Like, how does that happen? It's like all you have to do is remove Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams, and they go from 42 points to 3. You know what I mean? Like, I think they were punching above their weight. And every position group, other than, I guess, quarterback and running back, I mean, even running back, though, is dealing with some sort of injury, you know? And Purdy looks a lot better, but I don't know if that toe is still bothering him at all or not at all. It doesn't look like it is, but you never know until, the whole thing's said and done. But, Christian McCaffrey theragunning his back every week. Ricky Pearsall taking every other week off. George Kittle's out there, wanted to go out there with like a blown up ankle, and he probably would have if, the team. I'm guessing that Kyle was like, just sit this one out, dude. Because I feel like if George Kittle can go, he's going to go. He's like that type of psycho, know. Kyle didn't want to answer the questions about Fred Warner, even though Fred Warner's been out there apparently running on a side field because he's a psycho too.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's talking in front of any microphone he can get in front of too. So, and congratulations. I think they just had a baby, right?
Yep.
They did. Yeah.
Congrats to them.
Congrats to Fred and his family. My biggest concern going into this game is the defense, right? The injuries and the health it's all out there, right? That goes to the wayside. That's going to be for any NFL team, right? Our defense has been struggling, right? But what I do like is that our defense is going up again. So it's like this game right here is strength against strength and weakness against weakness, right? The Eagles' offense is clearly their weakness, right? They just haven't been able to score points consistently with their starters in there, right? The Niners' defense hasn't been able to stop teams consistently with our starters out there. So this is weakness against weakness as far as 49ers defense and Eagles offense. And then it's strength against strength. The 49ers high-scoring, high-powered offense versus their high-powered defense, right? So I think that meshes well for the Niners. The question is, what does the special teams look like? Like, how are the Eagles ranked in special teams this year? And I don't know. I'm asking. I'm going to have to type it up and try to Google it.
I can
really
tell
quick.
you. All
right, there you go. Because that's going to play a role in this game. Special teams is going to play a role in this game. I like our kicker a lot, but we got to see what happens. The Eagles got a call. The Niners got a call on them that still pisses me off about the leverage over the center or whatever that penalty was, and we don't even line people up over the snapper on field goal kicks. So as long as we don't get bullshit calls like that, we'll be okay.
From what I'm seeing, they are 13th. Or sorry, not 13th. 21st.
The Eagles are 21st?
Yes.
Special teams?
I'm trying to see if there's something that's more recent than this.
Okay.
The NFL.
Well, whatever it is that you're looking at, where are the Niners on that list?
Second.
Oh, come on.
Only behind
and by the way,
the Seahawks.
I do not want Niner fans, listen to me. Hear me clearly. We got to stop crying about this official that's an Eagles fan, and we got to go against them, and they're 8-1 when he's calling. Stop it. I'm going to tell you guys to stop it, okay? Every official that is reffing for the NFL probably want to become an official because they love the NFL. So first of all, it's usually a second-tier job for them, number one. Number two, everybody has a favorite NFL team, and they sometimes have to call games for those teams. We are not going to be the 49ers. We're not going to live up to that moniker, all right? We have whoever we have. So just stop with they're prepared already. Like, I can't see it enough with this whole, oh, man, it's unfair. Like, they're stacking the odds against us, and they got this guy going in there, and he's going to call all the plays. Just stop. Just stop. If we go out there and we handle business, we should be expecting it no matter who the official is, who the officiating crew is. We have to play ahead of the officiating crew, penalty-free, and we have to go out there and try to beat the opposing team. It's always, no matter what NFL team you are, no matter what fan base you're in, it's supposed to be you versus the team and the officials. Everybody's got to look at the game the same exact way. So I don't want to hear that excuse. I hate hearing it from the Niner fans. I couldn't believe how quickly they said, as soon as they announced who the officiating crew was, it was like, oh, man, that's not fair. It's not fair. Shut the fuck up. Stop crying. Stop crying. Go out there and play football. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Agreed. It is what it. Conversely, though, it was funny how Eagles fans were already celebrating it. Oh, we got our guy. Fuck yeah, he's an Eagles guy. It's like, and then they're in the chat like, I don't want to hear any excuses about the ref. It's like, how can you simultaneously be celebrating it and then being like, nope, no bitching allowed? If they're gonna win, they're gonna win. I don't think that the refs necessarily gonna fuck them. Did they lose because of Bill Vinovich last week? No. Did it pour salt on the wound because I hate Bill Vinovich? Yes. But
didn't the 49ers have less penalties than the Seahawks last week?
I don't, off the top of my head.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yes.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's more so the let me see, I have it here. Penalties. Yep, 5 for 21, Seattle, 3 for 31, San Francisco.
Yeah. Like, come on. If we're going to lose, we're going to lose. We're not going to blame the officiating crew.
Yeah.
Don't put them in position to decide the game. How about that? Take the play call, take that ability out of their hands. Go out there and handle your fucking business, man. That's it. I don't give a shit I don't care if it's Eagles fans in the stripes this week. I don't care. Go out there and handle business. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. They have reviews, they have challenges and all that shit. You do what you got to do. That's it. Handle your business.
So according to DVOA, the Eagles are 25th in special teams and the 49ers are 11 in special teams. Now, I don't know. I don't follow the Eagles special teams that much, but this includes the 49ers week 1 debacle with Jake Moody. I think if you move that off, it goes to 2. So
right.
Which call are you guys talking about in the chat? What's the timing? What's the one that you're saying is a bad call from Vinovich last week?
The only bad call that I saw last week was the leverage thing over the field goal, the kicker thing.
Was that last week?
And
I thought that was versus the Bears,
last week, wasn't it?
No, that was versus the Bears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you what the 3 penalties were that were accepted against the Niners last week. I don't remember what they were.
We had a face mask when we had to punt out of our own end zone.
Which was a face mask.
DeAndre Lenore got a PI in the end zone. Arguable because Jackson Smith and Jigba extended. No,
that was.
I could see either way. It could be a PI. Can't remember the third one. Maybe a holding on. Oh, a holding on Renardo Green. Holding or PI on Renardo Green when we got a third down stop.
I'm pretty sure that was a hold though.
They all 3 were penalties.
The questionable one was the pass interference by Lenore.
That was the only one that was somewhat questionable in my opinion.
Right.
Like, okay, maybe you let it rock or whatever, but tie goes to the offensive player. If they're gonna call it, they're gonna call that.
Yeah. I wasn't mad at it at the time. It wasn't until afterwards I saw another angle where I'm like, oh, okay, like I think you could have not called it, but visually it looked like PI.
My point is we got to stop doing this thing where if a call goes against us, we think it's like every call is fucking egregious, because it's not. Because if she was on the other foot and it was Pearsall in the end zone and it was Tariq Woolen doing the same thing that Renardo Green did, or not Renardo Green, Diamador Lenore did, we'd be like, where's the PI?
Right.
So like, let's keep it a buck. Like, let's just, let's be honest about what we're going with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
I agree.
Every game has missed calls. Every game has calls that people don't like, but it doesn't mean that Bill Vinovich is like over our head. Like, fuck these 49ers. We're not going to let them win this game. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that doesn't happen, man.
Only versus the Chiefs.
Only in the NBA, dude. Well, that wasn't even calls that Vinovich made. It was calls that he didn't make.
Right. Well, that's that's what we're saying. Yeah, like he allowed it to outcome. He allowed it to alter the outcome by not calling penalties.
Was he the 2019 Super Bowl?
Both. He was both.
Oh, was he?
He was. I'm pretty sure he was both.
I thought Husky was one of them.
Let me see, Bill. I'm pretty sure he was both because I remember 49ers fans were like, again.
Gotcha.
Both.
Oh, he was both. Okay. The only call that I thought was bullshit that Vinovich made was the OPI against George Kittle
in the first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was horse shit. But because it was such a nothing like extension, that happens in every game.
Well, they were hand fighting the whole way down, right?
Right.
And he just happened
to. It was kind of like a get off me thing, right?
Yeah. It's BS.
best pass that Jimmy Garoppolo threw as a 49er.
And it didn't count.
Yep.
Didn't count.
It went on later in the game, and actually that was the other call that he didn't make that I thought, like, more than the no holding against Nick Bosa thing, the not calling the helmet to helmet contact on Jimmy Garoppolo that clearly concussed him because he clearly played like shit after that.
Yeah.
That was kind of whatever.
Double A 49, they did get the stop after that PI call magically because they got a false start, backed him up, and then sack on third down, and then they went for it on fourth, and it was an incomplete pass. So, Mike, you talked about what we're worried about the most. We mentioned the defense as a whole, right? But the linebacker play specifically, we're without Tatum Bethune. He's already the backup. Now we have Eric Kendricks, who was signed like the week of Thanksgiving, coming in here to play. D. Winters is hurt. We signed Kaiser White, but he didn't get promoted to the active roster. So it's going to be either Curtis Robinson, Jalen Graham, Luke Gifford, who is also hurt. The linebackers are really, really terrifying me, to be honest with you, going up against a guy like Saquon Barkley, who is going to break arm tackles, who is going to run right through them. These linebackers need to be on point. And my only hope is that the run defense looked like a hair better with Eric Kendricks in there over Tatum Bethune after Bethune got hurt. And maybe that's just like the vet in him where he's a more sure tackler. Maybe that's just how the game went out and it had nothing to do with who was in there at all. But do you think that the run defense could be improved at all with Eric Kendricks instead of Tatum Bethune?
I do. It's not like some false playoff hopes or anything like that. I think communication goes through the roof once you put a guy in like Eric Kendricks, right? Like, so one of the biggest issues that the Niners are having in our defense is communication, right? The guys just aren't talking to each other, man. Any busted play, you can see guys just kind of like just doing their own thing. It looks like they're all out there in their own minds, in their own play. When you have Kendricks out there, he's pointing. He's gonna call things out. He's gonna make sure that these guys are lined up the way that they're supposed to. And that's what you get when you have a veteran out there like that. So with the improved communication, even if there's a missed tackle, guys are gonna hone in. You're gonna see more of that swarming mentality that makes this 49ers defense special. We talk about Robert Saleh. While the guys may not execute, he usually puts people in the right positions, in the right spot, right in the position to make a play. That's what's going to happen when you have a guy like Eric Kendricks out there who is echoing the thoughts and sentiments of his defensive coordinator. So I do think it improves.
I really hope so. I can't imagine it could get even worse, but then again, it is the Niners we're talking about here and their defense. I think that with Kyle Shanahan being basically embarrassed last week, caught with his pants down, only getting 3 points on the board. You can say this should have happened, that should have happened. The end of the day, result was 3 points. I can't imagine he's going to come out and not be more prepared, not have his offense more prepared, have his team ready to go. He's fighting for his life here, right? So it is the playoffs. It is against the best of the best, but I think that we'll see a better offensive performance. Even if the 49ers don't come away with the dub, I still think they'll put a better performance out there on tape versus the Eagles tomorrow.
Hard to get worse than it was against Seattle.
Yeah. They could score no points, I guess. But yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's why I said hard to get worse, not impossible to get worse, right?
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah. My thing is, like, again, what I alluded to, and I know, Mike, you said the injuries are what they are. Everybody's injured, but not to the extent the 49ers are. And I just think at this point, they've just run out of soldiers, man. Like, there's nobody else. Like, they have scraped the bottom of the barrel. And I just think that we're finally to a point where, the luck has run out, the fortune has run out, and they're just going to be whether or not they win this game, whether or not Fred Warner comes back or whatever, they're still going to be fighting an uphill battle against every team that they would face going forward. You get to a certain point where it's almost amazing that they were able to win as much as they were. It's almost like you're just impressed by the fact that they, like, if they keep it close tomorrow and it's a competitive game, that will be impressive enough for me that if they don't win, it's like, dude, they had a hell of a season. I'm already content with the season they had based off of the injuries that they had. And again, before this season, we were sitting here looking at this team like this is a rebuild year. They're going to have to load up for 2026, and that's going to be the Super Bowl year, right? That's going to be the Super Bowl run year. They got to take a year to get younger. We all said that when they drafted 5 straight defensive players to begin the draft. We're like, they're going young. This is how you got to do it, but this may be a tough year, and I think we were all on board with that. But for them to go through they went through and to win 12 games, again, it's all icing on the cake at this point. Anything that they do that's good to me is the season's already been a success, all things considered. So my worry is that, again, they just don't have enough horses in the stable left to keep up with the Eagles.
Yeah. Which is a very valid concern. Are there any areas where you guys think that the 49ers defense may come out on top?
Third downs. Third downs. The Eagles are only converting about 37% of their third downs. And so that puts them 24th in the NFL. And so, I think most of their mistakes also on third downs are mental, mainly because they don't care about 4th and 1s. Right. So it's going to be one of those things where they play a lot of the game as if it's 4-down territory. They don't care about 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, and they'll go for it. Right. And so third downs, we got to take advantage of it, not just take advantage of it, try to make them lose some yards, keep them to 3rd and long, keep them outside of that tush push range,
Yep.
Listen, the crowd's going to be fired up. They're going to want to go for it. They're all banking on, we're 5-0 at home in the playoffs under Sirianni, right? I get it. I understand what they think that they're going to have. We got to try to keep them out of that. If it's going to be a 4th and 1, make it a long 4th and 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it one of those that's like, damn, are you sure that's not 2 yards, dude? Like, so that's what we need. But third downs is where I'm going to start with the defensive advantage for the 49ers.
I think that they could have an advantage in the middle. I think Alfred Collins and CJ West could pose a big threat. Now, the Eagles are great, but I think the center, Cam Jurgens, could be had. And I think that if you're able to get interior pressure on Jalen Hurts and somehow not give up, contain on the edge, that could cause them into some bad decisions. That can cause them into some turnovers. That can cause them into some errant passes. So I think this needs to be a game where Alfred Collins and CJ West get out there and get a lot of snaps, because they're clearly talented, right? Like, they can clearly get the job done. I think Alfred Collins may be our best defensive lineman already. And I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know how you guys feel about that. What, Mike? You don't agree?
No. I said it when everyone was talking about CJ West and Williams, and I was like, that guy in the middle, guys, I really, really like him. The one thing that stood out to me after we drafted him, I didn't know much about him, I'm going to be honest with you. After we drafted him, I went back and looked at the tape and all that stuff. I was like, this guy's motor is incredible, and he gets his hands up if he can't get home. If he realizes a pass play, he throws those big paws up, and I loved it. And he's lived up to it. This young man is worth the draft pick. He's clearly been my favorite pick that the Niners have made along that defensive line. And not to take anything away from Williams. Williams, you can see the difference when he's out there and he's not out there in the run game, right? So I don't want to take anything away from him at all. But that expectation came with being the first-round pick, right? But it was Alfred Collins that people were like, why did we get this guy? What is he going to do? Who is he? And the more I broke down film on him, if it was college tape from the colleges, it was this guy's got something to offer, guys. And then CJ West quickly became a fan favorite, so I was always sticking with Collins, and I like what you said, man. I think he can go out there and make a difference in this game.
Sweet. All right, let's get into our offensive and defensive predictions of the game, and then we're going to wrap up. It's getting late both here on the West Coast and the East Coast. Mm-hmm. Defensive predictions. Mike, who do you got for defensive player of the game for the 49ers?
All right, this is going to be a tough one, man. But I'm going to take maybe I'll call it low-hanging fruit. I'm going to call it low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to go with Amador Lenore. I'm kidding. I'm lying. Jair Brown. Surprise, 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 right? I'm going to go with Jair Brown. There's going to be a lot of people from Jersey out there supporting him in the crowd and all that. And I do think that the Eagles are going to try to take some shots. I think that the communication is going to be improved this week. And he's going to have a couple of PBUs in this game that we're going to need, and he's also going to get a pick. I think that the Niners keep this game closer than what the Eagles want it to be. They want to try to make one of those emotional deep shots, and Jair Brown's going to come away with a bobbled pass. I can see it. The Eagles guy's going to have it right in his hands, and Jair Brown's going to close in and snatch it right away from him. So Jair Brown with the pick and my defensive player of the game.
Okay, Matt.
I'm gonna go. Man, I'm gonna go with the other defensive tackle. Last time I was on here, I was talking about Alfred Collins making a statement, and I believe Alfred Collins did he force a fumble? I'm pretty sure he forced a fumble, or got a sack, which I said he was going to do. I'm going to go with CJ West, who has been putting together better and better tape as the season has gone along. I think that he's going to do a good job of run stuffing, and this is going to be a game that Saquon Barkley is going to struggle to get going. I think that they're going to, like you said, Zach, put interior pressure on Jalen Hurts. It's really the only area where the 49ers can get pressure. So while it may not show up on the stat sheet as much, I think that CJ West is a very disruptive force in the game.
Okay. I like that. For me, I'm going to go with the other one who I just mentioned, Alfred Collins, because I do think that he has an advantage, at least matchup-wise. The guy plays great. He plays like a veteran. He carries himself like a veteran. He's got that big play, knack for it. So I'm going to say Alfred Collins shows up in his first playoff game, and I'm going to say he has 5 tackles and a sack. Maybe even a batted down pass, who knows? But he's legit. He's going to be a good player for the 49ers for a long time to come. Just remember that when you see players being written off in the preseason, rookies being written off in the preseason before they've even taken their first snap in the NFL. Mike, offensive player of the game.
At first, I started out saying that this is going to be a George Kittle type of game, but Vic Fangio and his defense, they typically do well against tight ends. So I'm going to switch it a little bit and go with. Oh man, this is a tough one, man. I'm gonna go with a wide receiver, man. I'm gonna go with Juwan Jennings. I think that if the Niners are going to have success, I talked about third down efficiencies for the Eagles. We're going to have to continue to third and Juwan. It's going to be crucial for this whole game. Let's hope that he gets his one mistake a game out the way early, run your wrong route or bobble a pass. Hopefully this one doesn't land in the arms of the defender, right? Let's go ahead and get that mistake out the way early. And then let's go out there and be the Juwan Jennings we need you to be. 115 yards on 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns, Juwan Jennings.
Damn, okay. Matt?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Brock Purdy. People talk about the Fangio defense and how it gives Kyle Shanahan trouble. Listen, Fangio's never faced Brock Purdy in the NFL. So this is the time for Brock Purdy to shine. Very rarely does Brock Purdy play 2 weeks in a row bad football or lackluster football. I think he's due. I think that Brock Purdy typically does well in the playoffs. I mean, he had the comeback victory against the Detroit Lions. His first playoff game against Seattle, where he threw for over 300 yards in that game. There's just something about Brock Purdy, and by the way, it's a 1:30 game. It's not a primetime game. It's not a Monday night game. It's going to be Sunday afternoon Purdy, and it's going to be great. So, for all the talk of Vic Fangio, I think that Brock Purdy is going to show him a thing or two for sure.
Nice. Chat is going with Upton Stout, who's coming off the best game of his career. So that's a good answer as well. If not Purdy, because I would pick him as well, I'm going to go with a wild card here. Sky Moore. Sky Moore, I think, could get some offensive snaps. What did Juwan Jennings feast on? Being the third receiver in the offense, right? You're going to have DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Zach Bond on your, Robinson, Jennings, and Kittle. Can you cover the third guy, which in this case may be Sky Robinson? He's the fastest receiver we have on the active roster. I think Sky Moore may be able to break one, and maybe I want to say he has 3 catches for 80 yards and a tutty. That's my wild prediction. Wildest one probably this season. We're wrapping it up with the final score predictions. Mike, hopefully this isn't the final score prediction of the year. What do you got, Mike? Let's hear it.
All right. So, heading into the week, I had the Eagles winning this game 24-21. But after some time to think about it, man, I say fuck these Eagles, bro. I think the Niners go out there and we get one here. And not only do we get one, I think the Niners win this game by double digits, guys. I think the Niners win this game by double digits. Hear me out. Give me my San Francisco 49ers 28, the Philadelphia Eagles 17. 28-17 for the 49ers.
Is this a gut feeling?
This is not a gut feeling. This is this is hopes and wishes. This is hopes and wishes.
I'll take it. I'll take it either way.
My gut has been on fire all year long, man. But I just don't have one in this game, so we'll see.
I'll take it either way. Matt, what do you got?
So I'm of man, it's hard for me to say. I don't think that the 49ers play football past this weekend, but I refuse to pick the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm using my powers of prognostication. It's
a tie.
I'm going into the future, okay? I'm getting the news report. It's coming into my mind, and it's going to go something a little like this. In a shocking turn of events, what appeared to be a zombie attack occurred at Lincoln Financial Field during the NFC wildcard matchup between the Eagles and 49ers on Sunday. Thousands of shambling people invaded field level and began attacking players. Jalen Hurts immediately took a deuce on the field and tried to flush it, but was overcome by the horde. A.J. Brown was taken out while reading a book on the sideline and posting cryptic messages on his social. Big Dom attempted to intimidate the seemingly corpse-like group, but as usual, no one really knew who the fuck he was or cared why he was there. Nick Sirianni attempted to hide, but due to an annoying habit of yelling out loud when by himself, he was quickly found in a puddle of his own piss. Ricky Pearsall attempted to flee, but re-aggravated his PCL injury. Kyle Shanahan was able to scheme a way out of danger, but because it involved protection from Colt McKivitz and Jake Brendel, Kyle was quickly mobbed by a group. Kyle Juszczyk, nothing, per usual. CMC was able to break away from the first few attackers, but was brought down after about 3.3 yards. Finally, Brock Purdy was seen saying a prayer, but it was ineffective since Philadelphia is a godless shithole. After a thorough investigation, the league and local law enforcement determined that the zombies were actually just drug addicts from Kensington and Allegheny, but by this point it was too late.
Shit.
The league declared no winner, and both teams were eliminated after a 0-0 tie. In other news, Seattle was also disqualified because the league found strong evidence for collusion. When asked to elaborate, a league official was quoted as saying there had to be fraud because, quote, no one believes that fucking pumpkin Sam Darnold is actually capable of leading a team to enough wins to actually be playing football in mid-January. Once again, from Philadelphia, 49ers, Eagles, 0-0.
Wow. All right. Well, yeah, kudos.
No, that was great. That was
awesome.
great right there. I got you. That was absolutely fantastic, man. Love that. I love it.
Wow. Wow. How do I follow that up?
Just go home, bro. It's okay.
Right?
We should clip that out, by the way.
Yeah,
put that out as a clip.
definitely.
Bro, with the Kensington reference, I don't know if you probably don't know what that means. Like it's literally zombie land out here. It's where all the fiends just walk the streets.
100%.
I mean, you literally see people leaned over out here.
I saw a Vice documentary about it. It popped into my head.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that. I don't know if the 49ers are going to win, but I will never pick the fucking Philadelphia Eagles.
Right. Yeah.
All right. I have my score prediction now. I have the Eagles 24.
I knew you were
The
gonna say
49ers 26. I think the 49ers win this with an Eddie De Niro field goal as time expires. 23-24 game. Purdy drives the Niners down the field. Eddie De Niro, ice in his veins, kicks the fucking ball right through the uprights, sending the Link into a frenzy. Fans punching each other, fighting for their last seat on the bus home. So I got the Niners by 2 as time expires. But
That's
either way,
yeah.
I just hope for a good game. I hope nobody gets hurt on either side. So
Competitive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
no
Eagles
grease
fans,
poles for the city of Philly. They can save some grease.
right? If we lose, feel free to come back tomorrow to talk your shit. It is what it
They
is.
will be.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And we'll be going live tomorrow on Nothing But Niners, also before the game too. So that's always going to be fun.
Yep.
Yep. This is going to be a good game. I'm just going to let you guys know where to find me. I know we're wrapping up here and everything. Thank everybody for the super chat that came in and everything. The people out in the chat, you guys were absolutely incredible. Listen, This is going to be a good game. Both teams are in the top 5 of the NFL in red zone conversions. The Niners move the ball well. The Eagles' defense, it promises to be difficult, especially with Vic Fangio and his ability to neutralize tight ends or, kind of negate their special prowess, right? So with no with no George Kittle out there to really be the star of the show, it's going to be interesting to see how Kyle Shanahan plans around that. But to Matt's point, he has never played against Brock Purdy. He's never played against a cerebral quarterback who is locked in with his head coach and offensive coordinator like this. So this promises to be a very, very different game. One of the likes we've never seen before. I'm not going to go out there and rock with the zombie apocalypse or anything like that, but I promise you there will be zombies in the stadium. I promise you that part. All right. It's going to be a good game. For those of you who are looking for bonus content, patreon.com/NB9ERS. We dropped a couple of episodes this week already. We'll probably have some more coming for you guys very soon. And the game. All right, it's going to be out there. I know you guys are going to be watching this. You don't need to pay for it this weekend. But if you guys want to watch it with the chat, come on over. Patreon.com/NB9ERS is the place to be. And I want to thank Matt and Zach for a phenomenal regular season. I think we did a great job, and now I'm happy to be doing this with you guys from the postseason. So let's keep this thing rocking, man. Hopefully it does not end this week.
Yes, sir. Exactly. And even if it does by some happenstance, we will be here all off season giving you guys great content. We got some great shows planned for you guys. I'm glad you guys liked the predictions, by the way. We got to clip Matt's. Matt, do us a favor. Take us home.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's playoff football. It's always fun to see playoff football. Last year was disappointing. We didn't make the dance, and everybody was like, man, what do we do? How do we get back? We were all worried about the cap. We were all worried about, who we were drafting, getting older, this and that. And I think we've all can say we've been pleasantly surprised by this team given the circumstances. So enjoy a competitive game. That's all we want, right? Competitive game. However the chips, fall, then it is what it is. So I'm looking forward to it. I know the guys are here too. We want to thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We couldn't do this without you. So for Zach, for Mike, for myself, we love having you here. And until next time, go Niners.